Okay, in this video we're going to do the form. So just to show you where this form will go, in the loan installment calculator the form will go right here. This is where the user will enter in how much the loan is, what's the interest rate, how long is it for, and will they make an extra payment. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, and that's going to go under the loan source div. Okay, so I have the loan form will go here. So let's get started with that. I'm going to put this in a form, and then all the elements in the form are going to be put into a table. So we have our form, and I'm going to name this, and I'm going to need the name for the JavaScript later. Okay, so in the form, we have a table. So the table, and I'm going to style this. I'm not sure if I actually need this, but I'm going to put a, did I already do that? I might have done that already. Let me check the CSS. I did not. Well, I'll leave it in there for now, because if I don't need it, I'll just take it out. So we got the 10 pixels for the margin. Let's close the table. Okay, so let's get started. So let's start up our row. In our row, I'm going to have the loan amount. And then underneath, or not underneath, but the next cell, we're going to have the input. So type, text, name, and I'm going to call this loan AMT, so loan amount, size 10, and that should do it. Then we're going to have the number of months. So first cell, I'll say number of months. The second cell will have, what should we name it? No, I'll just call it months. Easy. And then size, I'm going to make all the size 10s so they're consistent. And that should do it for that row. Okay. Then we have our annual interest rate. And so let's see, type, text, name. I guess we can just call this rate. That seems easy. Size 10. Okay. What else? Oh, the annual, or I'm sorry, the extra monthly payment. There we go. So we have our extra monthly payment. And what should we call that? Let's just call it extra. Size 10. Okay, so that should give us our form. Let me just save that and let's go take a look at it. Okay, so we have all this. Now what we need is our calculate button down there. So let's go create that now. I'm actually going to have two different buttons. Okay, the first button is going to be our calculate button. So it's a button. Now I'm going to have an on-click handler, event handler, and it's going to call the function check. Now this is what's going to do is it's going to, once a user tries to calculate using the information given or that they've given, this function is going to check to basically, we can call this validate. You know, why don't we do that? Validate. It's going to validate the information, make sure the user entered in, proper, real numbers, not, letters or names or anything like that. And I'm going to say calculate. Okay. Now, after a user has either looked at the information or if they mess something up, I want them to have the option to start over. So I'm going to have an on-click. I'm going to create a function called start over. And on the button, I want to say start over. think that's it for the form. Let's go take a look at it again. Okay, I think that will do it. I don't think there was anything else. Oh, you know what? I did want to put under the annual interest rate, because sometimes when you're like if you're doing this on by hand, when you use the annual interest rate, you're using the rate as a decimal. But in the calculator, I want the user to enter it in as a percentage. So what I'm going to do is right after rate, I'm going to put a break tag. I'm going to span. I'm just going to make this smaller. So font size, I don't know, 80%. And then in parentheses, I'm going to say an example. If you're going to enter in like 4.5%, oops. If your interest rate's 4.5%, I want you to enter in 4.5, not 0.045, something like that. I want you to enter in as 4.5. Okay, that should be it. Sorry, now let's go save it and let's go take a look. Okay, I think that's good. It has everything I want, so that's it for the form. So now what we're going to do is start the JavaScript on validating the information the user enters in. Okay, in this video what we're going to do is write the function for start over. So this is when a user, they've either calculated all the information and they just want to clear everything out again and start over. I want them to be able to have a start over button so that they click it and all the cells go back to the default state. Either they go blank and the table disappears, things like that. So we're going to write the function start over, and I'm going to put this in a new file called loan.js. So this is where all our JavaScript functions are going to be. And this one's actually pretty straightforward. Shouldn't take too long. So function, and we called it start over. It doesn't take in any arguments or parameters. Okay, so what I want to do, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's go back here. Now I'm going to put in okay, in every single cell I want to put something in there. I'm just going to put the letter A. Okay, down here in the loan info stuff, I'll just put loan info. Here I'll put table header, and then down here I'll just put table. So let me save that and let's go see what this looks like. Okay. Okay, so I have A. Oh, I actually want those to be in the cell. I'll deal with that in a second. All right, so we got loan info, table header, and table. Okay. All right, so let's go back up and fix that. All right, so yeah, you don't actually, I'm sorry, you don't put the, I don't know what I was thinking. All right, in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put value equals A. Now, I'm going to erase these later because they're not necessary, but it's going to help you understand what the start over function is doing. Oops. The value it's kind of a default. It's when you start the form, this is the initial value in that cell. So whenever we start this calculator, you're going to see the letter A in each of these cells. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, so in here we have the letter A, all these, then we have loan info, table header, and table. What I want to do is when I click start over, I want all of this to disappear. I want the loan info, what originally is there, I want it to go away, the table header, I want just basically everything to clear out. Okay, so that's the goal. And it's actually very simple. So here we go. What we need to do is we need a way to access the information from the HTML file. And the way we do it is we say document.loanForm. There's where that loan form is from. So what it's doing is it's saying, okay, go to the document, our HTML document, go find the loan. Inside the loan, go find the variable that's been named loan amount. Find the value that's in there and set it equal to nothing. So basically clear it out. And you're going to do that for all of them. So loan form dot months dot value, clear it out. I want the document loan form, the interest rates, take the value in there, clear it out. Because again, the user is going to enter something in. Whether it's valid or not, I don't care because we're not validating at this point. But when they press the start over button, I want whatever's in that cell to turn into this, which is nothing. It's an empty string. And then document loan form. What did I call this? Extra value. Now here, when the user presses start over, what I actually want is I want a 0 to be there because I want the default state for the extra payment to be 0. So that way, if a user doesn't change anything for the extra monthly payment, I want it to be 0. Okay. And I also want to clear those divs. So how do I access information, or how do I access the HTML inside a div? Well, first you need an ID. We've named them all. I think I gave them all IDs. Let's go take a look. So in the loan info, I called it ID loan info. I actually don't really need a table. I'm not going to clear the table header. But I do want to clear the table itself, and I call that ID table. So what I want to do is I want to access the HTML inside the div tag with an ID of info. So document.get element by ID. All right, it is case sensitive. See what happens that if I have a capital D, it doesn't change color. Now it does. Okay, so make sure you type it in correctly. And I think it was called loan info. That's what the div ID was. So what it's doing is it's now pretend like it's grabbing that div, right? The function is grabbing that div, and this is taking the HTML in that div, and we're going to set that equal to nothing. Set it equal to two quotation marks with nothing inside. So that means when I press this button start over, it's going to take any of the HTML that's inside this div, and it's going to set it equal to nothing. And I'm going to do that again for the table. See, I spelled it. Okay. So that's table, inner HTML. Okay. So let's go see what happens. Okay. Sorry, I'm uploading the videos as I make them. So, okay, so let's clear this. Refresh. So notice if I calculate, nothing happens. Now if I press start over, all of these should go away. The loan info should go away. The table should go away. The only thing that I'm not actually changing is the table header, which is the reason I left this here. So I want to show you that when you press start over, unless I do something like this, okay, it's the HTML is left alone. All right, so you ready? Start over. Okay, you are not working. Let's go take a look as to why. So start over. How about I spell on click right? Okay, that should fix it. Okay, so refresh. Again, calculate, nothing changes. Start over, everything clears out. Notice that this has now gone to a default of 0. Whatever was in this box is now gone. So that way when I calculate, it reruns that function, it will be populated with new information. And then when I click start over, it should all go away again. And that this div, the table header, doesn't go away when I click start over, and that's because the get element by ID, I'm not actually touching the table header. So that should be it for start over, and the next one will start the validation.